Hi, I'm DK Will, and this is DK Will Talk About It. I'm going to do a brief video today, somewhat brief, and I think I'm going to call this one Holly Income Free. I'll play on the words of Olly Oxen Free that you play when you're playing hide and seek as a child, and that's the clue to everyone else that it's clear to come to the home base and you won't lose the game. And the reason I'm doing that is, well, I'll tell you why after we get started.
Check the mic and make sure it sounds right.
And if the mic does sound right, we're going to get started. And the reason is because Holly, who is one of the so-called Intel providers, is usually on the top and giving a summation what she's found out from other providers, and she kind of consolidates them. And I'm going to follow a progression starting from the 5th up until today to make the point that Holly decided to play hide and seek. But we see here on Sunday morning, the 5th of this month, Holly had said, I would like to remind everyone that we still need the release of the FMPs to the recipients. Nothing can happen until that happens. So please stay calm until that is released. The bonds are starting to pay out, and that is the GCR side and different. Please remain calm until we see the FMPs, fines and penalties, have sent their notifications out. A lot are claiming it is happening, and yes, things are being prepared behind the scenes. Until we get the FMPs, stay grounded and centered. A lot are claiming it is happening, and yes, things are being prepared behind the scenes. I'll make another video very soon after this one regarding those type of comments, but today, like I said, we're focusing on Holly, and that's what she said on the 5th. Then came the 6th, and on the 6th, Holly said, after taking some time off, we are still waiting on the FMPs. I will repost my older post. That is the chain of events to happen, and we are still waiting for those things to happen, which she does. And she says that we are waiting for event to trigger the RV. And then she gives a lot of factors that I did cover in a previous video, so I'm not going to read it all, but I am going to leave it there so that you can pause and read it if you like. And of course, she ended it with, this is a transition, not a transaction. Never ever give up. I agree with that mentality. Don't give up. But there's a lot of information about the buy ones and liquidity and the quantum financial system, or QFS. And it's like Holly is giving another synopsis of what is going on, what is expected to go on, and things of that nature. And that was on Monday, the 6th. Now let's move on to the 7th. And Holly gave some advice. She said the only way to navigate this RV journey is to disconnect from expectation, because it has to happen or the world will go to shit. Excuse me. We are in a pressure cooker and we are reaching maximum pressure. This has been a psychological warfare, and every day you need to deal with that and your emotions. I agree fully with that. If you become emotionally embroiled every day over the delay of this happening, you're not helping the situation. We must detach from a date and when this will happen. It must happen and it will happen, but no one will know when. If a date is put out, dismiss it. It will be like a thief in the night and just happen. It's all event driven and not date driven. We have crossed so many date markers out there. A date does not matter. Look at events that are happening and what events need to happen, Holly says. If this ride is too much, then step away. It's always been today or tomorrow. It's happening since I got involved 10 years ago. And it still is today or tomorrow. Ain't that the truth? See some of my other videos regarding that. Focus on your family and livelihood projects. This RV has a life of its own, and restructuring the whole world behind the scenes has been a massive undertaking. Let's talk about the QFS. the quantum financial system. We are moving to a gold-backed or asset-backed system. I've had arguments with people about that. That is proving to be more and more true. The arguments date back nearly 3 years, but here we are. All 209 countries have agreed to the QFS in Asara and Gesara. I often said that we need to look at the landscape. Don't focus on the trees. Look at the forest. Back up and look at the geopolitical environment because it all ties in. This is proving true. The QFS is an actual living intelligence, not AI. That's a new one. That's a new one. And that's kind of frightening to me, quite honestly, when it comes to tying it into Bible prophecy. Its purpose is to protect the sovereignty of every human being on the planet. Sounds good. Sounds great. I believe we are sovereign beings, created in God's image, so ain't nothing wrong with that. Government and banks will no longer have control over your money or you. Time will tell on that one because it seems to me that's what they're really pushing for. And from what I do know, there's a prophecy that says that you will neither buy nor sell without the mark of the beast, and I'm thinking QFS might be associated with AI specifically, that mark of the beast. But that's just me thinking. Let's keep going. There's a digital gold certificate in the QFS, and every country who is Gesara compliant is part of it. More tomorrow on the QFS. As of today, we are still waiting for the delivery of FMPs to the recipients and D1 and 1 through 3 to be released to our level. Until this happens, no matter what other intel says, these must happen first. Stay positive and stay detached. That is the only way to stay on this ride. This is a transition, not a transaction. Never give up. So that was Holly on Tuesday. Let's keep going. And then all of a sudden, Holly gets cryptic on Wednesday the 8th. And all she says is My Way by Frank Sinatra. And then she lists the lyrics of the song. I don't know if you guys want to hear DK sing or not. Not is going to be the answer to that. What I find most interesting, and I'm leaving it there so you can read it because I'm sure the words have meaning for her to have chosen these lyrics specifically. Then she says on the RV update, it's time to observe silence. Now, Holly gave RV News that was just the lyrics of a song, and then she says she has to observe silence. And that, to me, folks, kind of sounds NDA-ish, as in non-disclosure agreement, communicating without communicating. And for those of us who can pick up on it, we pick up on it. I think that may be it. I'm not absolute, but that's what I think. Holly decided to go silent. Is that accurate? Well, what did Holly say on Thursday, the 9th? Let's keep going. Let's go find her. Is she here? Here's Judy. Here she is. The answer is yes. Because she says, I will remain in silence and allow the process to unfold without anything I say or do to stall it. I ask all intel providers to do the same so we can get across the finish line. That ties in so very, very well with what she said back here. We must detach from a date and when this will happen. And so it looks like, with all due respect, she practiced what she preached. Because finally, on today's news and rumors, there is no Holly. So, Olly, income free. Holly has gone into hide and seek. She looks like she's under an NDA to me. And it also looks like she has a personal objective to not contribute to the anticipation, which creates the negativity, which supposedly delays the process. So what does I say? I say, live your life. live your life, check in now and then. Maybe check in every day if you like. But don't let your life hinge upon the success of the RV. I'm DK Will. This is DK Will Talk About It. I talked about it. Have a wonderful day.